Massive thank you to Fry Jigs for his mesmerizing storytelling. Yeah, such a storytelling with an intensive research from factual and historical sources is truly a work crafted with competency, time, and utmost dedication. Just imagine, my dear friends, working on it 6 hours a day for many months. Since this is the first ever book, no, I repeat, the first ever book about the life of St. Dominic that is in Filipino after 800 years of the order's inception. This book is indeed a masterpiece, and as the timeless saying goes, we should read the best possible books that there are to be the best person that we can ever be. So again, thank you, Fry Jigs. And of course, now again, we are very fortunate enough that Fry Jigs is here with us for a little dialogue with our author. So now may I call on again for our dialogue with the author, Fry Jigs Villaflores. Okay, kung ready na. First question, Fry, somebody asked, no, what motivated you to write this book?
Nung una, I was commissioned by the Dominican sisters to write the story of Lorenzo Ruiz. That was in the late 1970s. So naisip ko na sumulat din ng dula tungkol dito kay St. Dominic. Ano? Kaya lang, ang naging problema ko dun sa pagsulat ng dula, wala akong makitang kontrabida sa buhay ni St. Dominic. Para bang nakita ko si Fernando po, pero wala si Eddie Garcia. Kaya medyo huminto yun. Kaya napapunta sa Talambuhay. Kasi ang Talambuhay, factual. Ano? All I have to do is just do a research. Kaya doon nag-umpisa. My intention was to write dula of 3 acts doon kay St. Dominic. Kaya lang napunta doon sa Talambuhay.
Oh, kaya pala po na naghahanap ng naghahanap pala ng kontrabida.
Wala makita.
Oh, maganda. Now, Fry, I have here another question that I think will be very, very interesting. Somebody asked, why did you write your manuscript in Filipino?
Okay. Kasi unang-una may pangangailangan. May nakita talaga ako. Kasi kilala natin yung mga ibang santo, St. Jude, St. Anthony, St. Francis. Pero talagang tungkol kay Santo Domingo ay talagang kulang. Kaya itong naisipan ko, sa halip na isulat ko sa English, sa Tagalog, para talaga pang masa. It's an easy reference material for the masses. Para madaling maintindihan.
Tama nga naman po, because Fry Jigs, as I could remember when we were in the seminary, when I was a young Dominican then, we were studying Vicarian English. And of course, young as we are, ang pinag-uusapan napakalalalim ng mga terminolohiya na hindi namin maintindihan. But after reading at least parts of your book, I was really amazed how you could put a story like it. And now, Fry, and I have here another question. Why do you think that this book, Ang Talambuhay ni Santo Domingo, is a timely book for the 800th birth of our Father Dominic?
Sa palagay ko, very timely ito. Kasi ang nakita ko dito, number one, we let St. Dominic be known. That's number one. Number two, we would like to increase the vocation ng Dominican order. Kasi when I did my research, nakita ko talaga phenomenal yung recruiting nila during that time. Talagang dinudumog. Dinudumog talaga itong Dominican order. So naisipan ko itong trilogy kasi this won't be just done by one book, kundi 3 libro. Kaya kumbaga parang binibigay mo talaga. Kasi yung first book, Talambuhay, I'm just barely scratching the surface. Kasi mga kwento lang yun tungkol kay Santo Domingo. Pero yung pangalawa, talagang I had to dig deeper. Kasi dun sa pangalawang libro, Why St. Dominic, I believe, is the saint for this century, gusto kong makita yung template na ginamit niya kung bakit siya naging santo. Once I have the template, all I have to do is just transfer that in our century. Kasi because there are things that change and there are things that don't change. Principles don't change. They are true yesterday, today, tomorrow. Ang nagpapalit yung panahon. Ano? Kaya yun ang gusto kong gawin. Kasi nakita ko ang daming similarities. Ano? During our time ngayon, pandemya. During his time, ito yung tagutom. Kung saan niya pinagbili yung kanyang ari-arian at yung kanyang mamahaling libro. Ano? Nakita ko din na during that time, talagang massacre, mass killings. Ano? Nahandito din tayo ngayon dito sa drug-related mass killings by the cartels all over the world. At nakita ko din doon yung mga kaparian, yung estado ng kaparian noon na yung morality nila napakababa. Samantala ngayon, ito yung sexual abuse ng kaparian. No? Kaya nakita ko yung mga nangyari nung panahon niya at nangyayari ngayon, maraming similarity. Kaya yun yung pangalawa. And then pangatlo, ito yung si JohnCassian. Ano? Ito ang panggabing binabasa ni Dominic, Conferences of JohnCassian. Ito yung Desert Father. Kaya yung pangatlo, ito yung Dominican Spirituality. Para maturuan natin itong mga Katoliko ngayon how to lead our lives according to Dominican Spirituality. Kaya yung tatlong yun, very timely for this 800 years Dies Natalis.
Napakaganda po, Fry. Actually, talagang, of course, as we observe in our society today, there seems to be a social and moral decay happening. No? And itong ganitong klase ng babasahin, sabi nga po ni Father Roy, isang upuan kaya nating basahin, tiyak na may mapupulot tayong aral. Kasi minsan hindi lang yun sa basta-basa tayo ng basa, bagkus nababasa natin, madaling basahin at nauunawaan para may napupulot tayong aral. Ano po? Kaya po ngayon, marami na naman akong napupulot na aral. Maraming pinag-iisipan ko sa inyo po mga sinasabi. Now, Fry, I have another question.
May I add something, Fry?
Yes, Fry.
May I add something? Iniisip ko kung buhay ngayon si St Dominic. No? Kasi St Dominic, talagang kumbaga sa ahead of his time siya. No? Ngayon, I've been reading NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. No? Noong ako nasa States, si Tony Robbins ang main proponent nito. No? It's the science of language as it affects our thought, our feeling, and our behavior. Kaya kung buhay ngayon si St. Dominic, kasi sabi nga ni Heidegger, language is the house of being. Because language is the house where we live and where we stay. Kaya kailangan talaga yung mga Dominicans, they have to be masters in language, communication, and being. Kaya palagay ko kung buhay ngayon si St. Dominic, itong mga kabataang Dominico, i-enroll niya sa NLP. Kasi ito yung emerging science, ito yung emerging technology. And this will be good in preaching and also in counseling.
Tama nga po, Fry Jigs. No? And I totally agree with you that language is indeed, coming from Heidegger, and even one philosopher would agree to that language is also our kingdom. No? It is our house and our kingdom because everything resonates within such. Napakaganda po. Now, Fry, maganda ang ating mga naririnig, base sa mga tanong na atin pong nakuha. Pero merong isang tanong dito na medyo interesante. Ang sabi po dito, what are the struggles you face in writing 6 hours a day for many months? No? What are the struggles you face in writing this beautifully written work in Filipino?
Ang nakita kong number one struggle ko dito, kasi ang pinasukan ko itong historical books, biography, Kaya talagang lalo na sa edad ko, talagang madalas akong antukin at makatulog, Kaya ngayon, ang naging problema ko dito, how to make the story interesting. Yun ang problema. Kasi after I have collected all these stories, I had to put them back together in one cohesive, understandable whole. Yun ang mahirap kung paano ibabalangkas yung iba't ibang parte ng istorya para talagang magkaroon ng continuity at maging very interesting. Kasi nakita ko yun, dinivide ko doon sa 5 chapters. Ang pinaka-climax, yung 3rd chapter, kasi ito na yung action, ito yung Albigensian Crusade, nandito yung patayan. Pero itong 4th at saka 5th chapter, medyo pababa na ito at this is about founding the order at saka yung general chapter, ano? Kaya medyo hindi na interesting itong dalawa. Kaya dito ko inilagay yung iba't ibang klaseng istorya na interesting para makit ko ba yung interest ng tao. So number 1 yun, yung storytelling has to be interesting. Kaya mamimili ka ngayon doon sa lahat ng mga istoryang nakuha mo kung paano. Kaya yun, puro short lang, short narratives para madaling ma-digest ka agad.
Very true, Fry. Actually, pagka nagsusulat po tayo ng papel, napakahirap na. How much more to try to collate, no, and make a cohesive book, no, composed of different chapters. So, Fry, another question, no, para po kayong ano dito, parang nasa defense kayo, Fry. Yeah. Actually po, bago ko isunod yung tanong, sabi po dito ni Fry Steve, no, he commented sa Zoom, sabi niya, "Congrats, Fry Jigs. Filii is so proud of you. Excited na kami na mabasa ang Talambuhay ni Sto Domingo." And tinatanong po nila kailan daw lalabas yung natitira pang dalawa ng trilogy. Kasi Fry, di ba? This is part of a trilogy. Tama po ba, Fry?
Yeah. So kaya nga ako excited eh. Starting tomorrow, I'll start already yung second book, Why St Dominic is the Saint of the 21st Century. Ang makakatulong kayo sa akin, I'm trying to discover ano ba yung heresy o moral cancer for this century. Yun ang hinahanap ko, ano? Kaya doon ako hahanap. Una muna yung tanong, ano ba talaga yun? Are we looking for love in all the wrong places? Yung ba yung heresy natin ngayon? Ano? O kaya godlessness and so on. So, yun ang hahanapin ko. Kaya marami talaga akong librong pagdadaanan, pati yung style yung pagsusulat. Tinitingnan ko ngayon yung, kasi these next 2 books will be written in English para talagang malawak na yung reach. At saka itong ginawa kong Tagalog, maaaring patulong ako sa aking may bahay, ano, kay Lita, na i-translate sa English para talagang maintindihan din ng mga non-speaking Tagalog. Ano? Kaya yun. So next year, yun yung Saint of the Century. And then the year after that, ito na yung spiritual guide natin, itong Dominican Spirituality. And it will be written like the Seeds of Contemplation by Thomas Merton. Very literary, very poetic.
Yeah, thank you, Fry. No, so we are excited actually about that trilogy, and of course our brothers, no, both in the Filii and of course in the Dominican Fathers, no, perhaps we can contribute something. No, sabi nyo nga kung ano yung ma-identify yung moral cancer. Fry, I have here another question. What do you think are the most encouraging traits and qualities that you like most about St. Dominic during your research about him that you wish to highlight?
Ang napansin ko, lalo na dun sa yung personal life, ano? Kasi kung minsan, talagang gusto nating magpakabuti na, bumalik na sa Diyos ng 100%. But because of our previous sins, ano? Talagang hindi magawa. Para bang si San Agustin noon, gusto niyang magbago but not yet. Always not yet, ano? Yung ganon. Ngayon, ang nakita kong nakuha ko kay St. Dominic, ito yung tanong, ano? How do you know that you are fully converted? So let's talk about conversion. What is the proof that you are converted right now? Ang ganda ng tanong eh. Kasi ibig ko sabihin madaling magpakita ng palabas na mabuti ka, santo ka, ganyan-ganyan, no? Pero yung final test na natutuhan ko kay Santo Domingo, kung talagang na-convert ka 100%, is yung way of life. And that's embracing poverty. Dito pumasok yung dalawang magkaibigan, St. Francis, St. Dominic. Isa lamang ang punto nila eh. Yung talagang yakapin, yung buhay ng mahirap, the vow of poverty. Kaya nung siya mamamatay na, parati niyang sinasabi yun, huwag niyong kalilimutan na yakapin itong kahirapan. Kaya how do you know that you are fully converted? Well, the test is you have to live the life of poverty. Para bang ginawa ni Mahatma Gandhi? he lived with the communes. Yung karaniwang tao, kung ano kinakain noon, kung saan naninirahan yun, nandun siya. Ano? Kaya yung talagang one with the people, one with the masses in terms of poverty. Kaya nga, tinawag na mendicant friars. Nabubuhay sa pamamalimos. Naglalakad lang sila. Parang mga Buddhist ngayon, nanghihingi. Nanghihingi. Ganun yun eh, doon nag-umpisa yun. Kaya nung mamatay si St. Dominic, wala man lang siyang selda, walang kwarto. At yung kanyang abito, nag-iisa lamang. Nag-iisa lamang. Kaya nung siya punasan at dadamitan, nanghiram pa ng damit kay Fray Moneta. So, the vow of poverty.
Yeah, napakaganda, Fry, no? And I think, no, it's very good, of course, to highlight, no? Because yun yung talagang isa sa mga naging inspiration also ni Father Dominic, no, in founding the Order of Preachers. So, Fry, I have here, no, a few more questions. Okay pa po ba, Fry? Pwede pa?
Okay,
Pwede.
okay pa. Okay pa.
Okay. Ito po. How can you associate, Fry, the work that Filii does to the narratives of the life of St. Dominic?
So, narratives of the life of St. Dominic, vis-a-vis, ano ito? Yung
Yung
una?
po mga, how can you associate the work that Filii does, yung pong ating mga proyekto, yung ating mga ginagawa?
Okay. Okay. So, ang maganda sa Filii, yung this is the third book na. So, for the last 3 years, itong Filii talaga, naglalabas ng mga libro. Kaya nga, sabi ko, sa may bahay ko, itong 4th year sana, sabbatical muna ako at medyo pagod na ako, kasi every year naglalabas. Pero yung una nating linabas, napakaganda because that's the meaning of the Mass explained. Marami kasing simba ng simba, kumunyon ng kumunyon, pero hindi na iintindihan kung ano yung misa, kung ano yung banal na Eucharistia. Kaya meaning of the Mass explained, yun ang una natin. Yung pangalawang libro na ginawa ng Filii, ito yung mga popular devotions natin kasi very popular sa atin yung Santo Niño, itong Poong Nazareno, itong Ina ng Laging Saklolo, itong Birhen ng Lanabal, ito yung Birhen dyan sa Pangasinan, marami pa. Kaya yun ang pangalawa natin. So ito ngayong pangatlo, ito yung Talambuhay, nasusundan ngayon nitong bakit si Santo Domingo ang santo ng 21st century at saka yung Dominican Spirituality. Ang nakita ko dito, nung pag-aralan ni Santo Domingo, yung buhay ni JohnCassian, ito yung Desert Father. Ito yung talagang pundasyon niya kasi nung dati, yung mga Kristiyano noon, tuwang-tuwa habang sila nilalamon ng mga leon sa amphitheater ng Rome. Kasi that's the straight way to heaven, yung martyrdom. Pagkatapos noon si Constantine, naging first Christian emperor, wala na noon. Tinanggal na yon. Kaya ang pumalit ngayon, yung pamumuhay nila sa disyerto. Kila St. Anthony. Nagpuntahan mga ermitanyo para talagang iwan itong mundo. Kaya doon nag-umpisa ngayon ang kwento ni JohnCassian. Ito yung Desert Father. Kaya yung third book natin, doon pupunta. Kasi ang tanong ni JohnCassian ganito, among isang kataga, paano ba maliligtas ang isang tao? Kaya ginadugad niya yung mga ermitanyo at tinanong kung paano maliligtas yung tao. Yun ang pundasyon ni Dominic na naging Dominican Spirituality. Kaya yung ginagawa ng Filii in consonance with the preaching apostolate ni St. Dominic.
Yes, Fry, and I think we could always recall, ang isa sa mga motto ng nating mga Dominicano ay Salus Animarum for the salvation of souls. And tama po yan, Fry, para sa kaalaman ng ating mga viewers and of course our other brothers, hindi na po tayo basta isang samahan na nandito lang nagkakainan or doing some things, but we are doing lots of apostolates, preaching apostolate. Nabanggit po ni Fry Jigs even the series of books, We have even launched it sa Pangasinan. We have distributed copies of the meaning of the Mass explained. We do retreats. We do help in the community projects in our local parishes and even in the order, lalo na po sa Philippine province. Ayun. So, I have last two questions, Fry, for you. Ito po, second to the last. Ito, Fry, napaka-interesante rin pong tanong nito. What role or roles did the Filii play in helping you achieve the completion of this beautiful work?
Alam mo, Fry, talagang nung sumali ako sa Filii, talagang na-inspired ako. Na-inspired ako ng Filii. Ano? At dito sa librong ito, habang ginagawa ko ito, I asked the help of 3 Filii brothers para tulungan ako sa pag-i-edit nito, at makita ko kung anong reaction nila. So ito sila, Fry Ted Fulona, Fry Edwin Manuel, Fry Henry Napa. Yung tatlong yon ang tumulong sa akin. At maraming salamat din dito kay Fry Mike. Kasi ibig kong sabihin, wala na akong problema sa publishing eh. Itong Filii na ang sumasagot, si Fry Mike na. Kaya malaking tulong yon.
Oh yes, Fry, kaya nga po nakita natin dito sa Filii, regardless of age, regardless of kung ikaw ay may asawa na o single pa, talagang yung pagtutulungan and I think itong proyektong ito ay isang produkto ng pagtutulungan nating mga magkakasama, Of course, even if your age is apart, pero syempre you look like just 47, Fry, kidding aside. Ayan, opo. And the very last question, Fry, before I go to the questions from the audience in the Zoom meeting. Pinaka-last na po, Fry. To whom do you dedicate this book?
Alam mo, Fry, although i-dedicate ko ito kay Santo Domingo para dito sa 800 years of Dies Natalis, gusto kong ipakilala yung aking may bahay. Kasi yung may bahay ko talaga, puno. Ito ang editor-in-chief. Kaya gusto ko ipakilala nga dito. Dito.
Ayan.
Kaya ito ang katulong ko dun sa pagta-translate para sa English nitong Talambuhay.
Ayan. So talaga po yung inspirasyon talaga galing kay Tita Lita. Ayan. Salamat po. Ayan. Okay.